Welcome to the Own Your Best Life podcast. I'm May Emson, your host, leadership and mindset coach. Here, we talk all things spiritual, mindset, business, leadership, and wellness for the modern seeker who wants to align their life with purpose and inspiration. We'll cover career changes, stress management, meditation, energy, intuition, and more. Each episode holds spiritual and practical tools to help you live a life of your wildest dreams without getting burnt out along the way. Ready to live a life on your own terms? This is the Own Your Best Life podcast. Welcome to episode 187 of the Own Your Best Life podcast. So this year has really been one for the books for all of you and myself. And I've seen that when we do this process of developing self-trust, you start to see bigger picture changes that you've been longing for happen in quick succession. And the key to truly understanding yourself is to see what decisions you make and why. And there are so much at stake, yet we often don't even understand why we make or why we delay certain decisions. And that's what's happening in the process, is this self-trust cycle. And this is why today's podcast on the self-trust cycle is going to be so important for your self-development journey. I recently had an acknowledgement in the amount of self-trust that I have and how it's contributed to a much more spiritually led life that's also fun and it's full of adventure. I had this moment when I was making a big investment and I was thinking to myself, do I feel that this is going to work out in my business? And I remember thinking to myself, I really trust my business. I really trust myself. And there is such a cognitive difference in the way that you perceive a decision, a situation, and something that is in front of you when you come from the place of trusting yourself, trusting the business, trusting that what will be there for you is solid. And when you've spent quite a bit of time learning how to make the quote unquote right decisions, you build muscles for making decisions that are collaborative and they're for the greater good of all. That's what most of us have been trained to do, even if it's not for your own good. And right now, the next level of growth comes when you learn the process of making decisions that are more edgy, they're more uncomfortable. And as you start to make decisions for yourself and your life that are more unconventional, yet also for the greater good for all. So we're talking about more intelligence and more intuition at the same time. And as you listen to your intuition, you will find intelligent ways to make life work for you. Starting a business, for example, changing roles, moving, redefining relationships, becoming a different version of yourself, and deciding that instead of being okay with the daily grind, that you are asking for more from life. All of these are bigger moves that come when you trust yourself. It is that first step in that self-trust cycle of saying this, something that is not here yet, is desirable. And this shift from follower to self-leadership and other leadership is really one of the most important steps you can take in your life. Finding out that you have what it takes to dream bigger, that you trust yourself and that you're committed not just to other people, but to yourself, your mission, and your decisions. Like I said before, I have made some big investments in my life and in my business. And each time I did that, and I think many of you will resonate because there's often those moments where you hesitate and you think, should I do this? Should I delay this? Should I wait another month, year until this happens? I'll try it myself. I'll do this thing just one more time and see if it works. Every time you end up saying, okay, here, I'm going to go for it, you always feel at some point, did I make a mistake? And I felt the same way, and I do feel that. And that comes because there's a lag between the decision being made and the tangible proof that this worked out in my favor and in your favor. And this delay and this doubt is often seen as a problem. But I want you to understand this one thing. This is where most people stop. This gap, therefore, is a prerequisite for your dream job, for your dream lives. Gaps and doubts are not a problem. You have an intellectual ability to see something from different angles. It is a good thing to have at your disposal. I found myself seeing that I also have the capacity to go to the place where I find trust, where I find intuitive thinking combined with intellectual decision making. I find trust in my business. I find trust in my capabilities. I find trust in what I will accomplish and what I commit to. And with that self-trust, the decisions I make become lighter and more sure. Self-confidence grows. And this is what I teach in my coaching, how to bring all of yourself to what you do, whether it is in work or in life. How to communicate well, how to own your strengths and your opportunity areas, how to be a thought leader and influence others, how to lead yourself to lead others. And if you don't know how to trust yourself, but you do trust in others' expertise, I will show you how to become self-reliant without resenting others, so that you live a life that lives up to your expectations. Self-trust isn't the idea that you are in 100% belief that everything you do is the best and the most correct. It doesn't eliminate doubt. What it honors and acknowledges is that you have a reason for doing what you're doing. That reason is defined by your definition of success, your personal goals, your priorities. Self-trust also acknowledges that you're willing to fail. I want you to hear that again. You are willing to fail. I'm going there and I've got my own back no matter what happens. And that I will attempt to succeed to the best of my ability and capabilities. That you will attempt to succeed to the best of your ability and capabilities. And that self-trust ultimately is created when you make decisions from a place of growth, from the future, from a place where the thing has not yet happened, but it has in that parallel universe, in that sliding door moment, in that future world. And the self-trust that I've created comes with calm. I've never been more calm about my business as I take big leaps. I trust the work that I do is real, it's meaningful, and as sure as any corporate job I've done. I've never been more calm about my relationships, and I've never trusted my body and the way I treat my body more. The reason self-trust is life-changing is that you see yourself doing different things with self-trust. You're able to make bigger moves, the kind that you see other people do. The questions you had about people who seem to just do things effortlessly are usually answered through their level of self-trust, otherwise known as confidence, belief. And if you want to see what can happen when you trust yourself, ask yourself this question: what would I do differently if I trust myself with this decision? So many of us are holding ourselves back from what we would want to do, that we think we could do, because we don't trust ourselves. We don't trust ourselves to have relationships, kids, to own businesses. We don't trust ourselves with our money or with big decisions. And the smallest of decisions leads to the biggest of decisions. The telling yourself the truth, even when it's uncomfortable, is an example. The next small decision would then be to decide that you want to tell someone else that truth. The next small decision after that is that you decide to do something differently with that truth. The next small decision after that is doing the first step of the thing you want to do differently. Picking up the phone, sitting yourself down, getting dressed, asking the question. If we don't trust ourselves to do our work without burning ourselves out, we don't trust ourselves to take on more responsibility. I have not found a quick fix to success, but one of the most predictable leading indicators of success is the ability to trust yourself to do what you said you will do. And if we're saying that we're not going to do it in the old ways where we feel unhappy, directionless, overwhelmed, and stressed, then it is no longer an option. It is now no longer an option for me to burn out. And the more I trust myself to be the version of myself that is the most successful, the more I follow through. The more I hold myself in high regard, the more I trust myself to follow through. This is the virtuous self-trust cycle. And if you're thinking it's better to shame, to blame, to embarrass yourself, Just ask yourself, how fun would it be to do life with you when you're holding yourself in high regard with high self-trust versus in shame and blame? And the decision is yours, who you want to hang out with, because you get to do this. This is your free will in action. But if you need help making that decision, I am here. If you're struggling with overwhelm and that erodes your sense of self-trust, I will show you how to make it impossible to not make progress. This is why I work with my clients to go from stressed, overwhelmed workers to calm, confident leaders who have their dream jobs. It is so much more fun to have your dream job and your dream life. Guys, it is so much fun to trust yourself to do it well and sustainably. You become your best self-fulfilling prophecy. You become a leader people want to follow. You become the kind of person others want to work with. And you allow yourself then to expand into work, responsibilities, and levels of time, freedom, and health that keep just getting deeper, richer, and more unique to you. And every year, I like to think of self-trust almost like as a scale. So every year I keep trusting myself more. And I found that it only helps become this fountain of youth, because making decisions without heaviness keeps you in the spiritual game of business and life in age-defying ways. You just need to outlast, my friends. I cannot tell you how much patience and persistency and sustaining yourself is the name of the game in life and business. When we're in that next chapter of life, we often become fixed in our ways of thinking and doing things. And that ages us in ways that ages your mind. And the self-trust is the foundation of that solid ground that allows you to play with bigger, bolder ideas and all of those what-if scenarios. And self-trust makes it safe to question why we've done things the way we've done them. And in this next chapter of our lives, the more we question and answer those questions that we have, our own questions, from our own place of knowledge, the more our lives become a version of ourselves and not a copycat of someone else's. Your dreams, not mine, your dreams are meant to be lived into. My dreams were meant for me to be lived into. And if the only reason you're not doing it is because you don't trust yourself to figure out the consequence of that decision, you don't trust yourself to work sustainably, you don't trust yourself to not fall into old patterns, you have to ask yourself this: what is it going to keep your life looking like? What is it going to cost you to keep doing life this way? Because sometimes when you throw yourself into that place, you help yourself figure it out faster and sooner. And the question is this: where am I going to be next year? And this self-trust cycle is only complete when you go from that gap in seeing what you desire. That gap is there, right? That gap, if you can see that gap as a problem, and then you make it your solution, the problem becomes the solution, that's when you complete the cycle. Not having it yet becomes a solution, because who you will become along the way is the point. It isn't the arrival. It isn't the I should have known this by now, which is often the running thought that goes in most people's minds. I should have done more by now. I should have been further along. Why don't I know this yet? And the journey really is the destination. And when you can see that the problem of not having it is now the solution, that journey now becomes your destination. You care more about being present for this experience of life than about being perfect. And instead of just looking forward to the future, you're finding joy, peace, fun, love, clarity now. And this is when the self-trust cycle completes. The decision has already been made through you, by you, for you, that you're moving forward regardless of what happens, and that you will make whatever happens work for you. This is what's available to you and what I want to help you discover for yourself. Make your dream job your real job and have fun along the way. Get incredible amounts of energy and time back. Go from stressed, overwhelmed worker to calm, confident leader. And if you're on the cusp of this next leap, we are enrolling in the next round of Spiritual Achiever Coaching. This month, we're diving into decision-making models, conscious versus subconscious models we work with, intelligence, intuition, and all of that and how that plays into planning. You're going to blow yourself away with the incredible amount of change that will start to appear in your life. So if you're ready for your life to become more richer, deeper, to go from stressed and overwhelmed to calm and confident, join now by going to mayemson.com/spiritual achiever. We also have the next retreat coming up. There's only a few spots left. It's going to be in Puerto Escondido, Mexico. It is where we will take all of these things that have been marinating in your mind, in your head, and let them settle and drop all the way down. We will refine and hone your intuition. We'll get clearer clarity, and it's a space for you to come in community with other spiritual achievers who are looking for answers to those big questions of how do I do this next thing? How do I not burn out along the way? How do I make sure I have fun and enjoy myself and create stability and financial freedom and a creative life at the same time? This retreat is in a private villa. It is in a top 10 surfing destination, so we're going to have so much fun. We're going to do a little bit of surfing, yoga. We're going to rewire your mind, body, and soul and figure out what is next and move into it. You don't want to miss it. And even if you're not in the group, you're welcome to join. The spots will sell out, so go to www.mayemson.com/retreat and book your room today. All right, my friends, I hope you have an amazing week. I will talk to you next time. Thanks so much for joining us this week on Own Your Best Life. Make sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts so that you'll never miss a show. And while you're at it, can you please rate and review on iTunes? I would so appreciate it. Share it with a friend, take a screenshot of it, and tag @MayEmson. This helps continue to get the word out. For more show notes and resources, check out www.mayemson.com. It'll have all the links to everything you heard here today. Thanks so much for listening. It's time to own your best life.